Welcome to Aiken This Week. I'm Emery Langston. We are joined today by members of our finance department from the city of Aiken. We have Kim Abney, who is our director of finance. We have Russell Smith, who's the meter technician, and we're being joined also by Al Cothran, who is our revenue administrator. Thank you all for being here and welcome. And we've got a lot to talk about today. We really do. Kim, we're going to start with you. And you have a work anniversary coming up, the beginning of December, 23 years. So you've really seen a lot in your time. Could you kind of give us just a brief overview about all the things that finance does, just kind of in a nutshell?
Well, thank you for having us today. And what most people think about finance is the water bill place.
Absolutely.
And we are located at 135 Lawrence Street Southwest, and that is where you come to pay your water bills or your tax bills, your business licenses. But to our employees, we process their payroll and we take care of their benefits. And to our vendors, we process their accounts payable checks, and we do all the accounting that goes along with all those things. We provide transparency to all of our information on our website, cityofaiken.sc.gov, and you'll find every check that we've written posted on there by month. You'll find our monthly and our annual financial statements, and you'll also find our comprehensive annual financial report, which I brought with us today.
Very good.
We have won the award from the Government Finance Officers Association for the last 23 years for the Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting, which is their recognition of excellence in financial reporting. So we're very proud of that and the work that has been done to achieve that.
That's a big deal.
The other thing that a lot of people don't think about is we also handle all of the water meter reading and billing. So we're pretty busy there.
Yes, absolutely. Kim, I'm sure that you get lots of questions, ranging, because y'all do so many things. But I can imagine that one of the biggest questions that you get is, how can I see where my taxes go? Can you kind of talk to that?
Well, and we do post all the information online. We were one of the first to be recognized by the state as being transparent. And with the new hospitality tax, we actually have a moving graph that shows people the revenue collected and the money that we spent each month as it's coming in. Our website is full of information in our document archives, where we post, like I said, all the checks written and all of our financial statements going back for years. So you can see all of that on the website.
That's a really, huge accomplishment, considering everything that the city finance department has to do and you have to keep track of. To have that transparency and to get the achievement that the finance department has over the years is really, really a big deal, I think.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that you've kind of touched on a lot of the things that that finance does. But is the city audited? Can you talk about that a little bit?
We are. It is a state requirement to have an annual audit by an independent certified public accountant. And this year we had a new firm, Maudlin & Jenkins, come and perform our audit, and they will present that to City Council. Usually it's in late November or December. And they look at everything from top to bottom and do a lot of tests on our transactions. And then they issue their audit report, which we take and put in as part of our comprehensive annual financial report. And we add additional information, statistical information, and narrative information about the city and about what's gone on that year. So, yes, we are audited every year.
Well, and you mentioned about the fees, and specifically about water. Everybody pays their water bill. They get that monthly water bill. So, how can somebody establish water service in the city?
If you need to establish service moving into the city or maybe moving to a new house in the city, you can either do that online on our website at cityofaiken.sc.gov, or you can come into our office at 135 Lawrence Street Southwest, or you can call us, 642-7603. You will have to sign a waiver either in person in our office or online to say that everything is going to be off in your home, so that when the technicians come out, that they don't turn the water on and you have a faucet open. If you're not going to be home when they come, then we need you to sign that waiver ahead of time, or you can be home when they arrive. But it's very easy. We don't require a deposit. It's just a one-time non-refundable service fee, which is billed on your first bill.
And so about how long does it take? How long does the process take?
Well, we require 24 hours notice, so
Okay.
if you call us the day before, then we'll have the people out there the next day. We do not work on the weekends, so if you're going to be moving in over the weekend, we suggest you call and have it turned in on a Friday. But then we can do it as far as 2 weeks out. You know, you can't call and say I'm going to move in 6 months. You know, it has to be within a time frame there. And then the water bills are always issued on the 1st of every month. Mm-hmm. So if it comes to be the 2nd or the 3rd and you don't have your water bill, you might want to call us, but you should get it on the 1st in the mail, and they're always due on the 20th. Now, if the 20th falls on a weekend, then it's due the next business day by 5 o'clock. If it's not paid by 5 o'clock, then there is a late fee, and it's 10% if the balance is over $40, and it's just $1 if the balance is under $40. So.
I know that is a question that y'all probably get a lot with people moving in and moving out and changing addresses and whatnot. So how would somebody know if their water service will be cut off for non-payment? How does that work?
Okay. Well, anytime the balance is not paid by the 20th, it is subject to termination. We will tweet with Twitter. We will post on Facebook, and we'll also put it on our website what the cutoff days are going to be for that particular month. So it will say if your bill is not paid by 5 o'clock on this day, then it will be subject to termination on the following day at 8 o'clock. And every month we have about 200 to 250 customers that unfortunately we have to go out and remind them. And then they come in, and there is an additional fee that goes with that.
Sure.
So it's better to pay it before it gets terminated.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've talked a lot about the water and how that works and how folks can get come in to the Lawrence Street address and get some information on that or call. But let's talk a little bit about the technical aspect. And Russell, I think that's where you come in. You've been with the city for about 4 years, and I understand that we have new water meters being installed. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, ma'am. We're currently installing the Badger E-Series style meter. It's completely lead-free, meets the the no lead requirements. We originally had brass meters in the ground, had to take them out because they had lead in the brass. New requirements, regulations required anything installed new had to be no lead. The E-Series meter is completely stainless steel. It has a digital style readout on the meter instead of the old style where you look at it, you have a hand that turns when the water goes through. We currently don't. The E-Series do not have a leak indicator that turns slowly. Everybody's used to seeing a dial turn.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a little bit better the way the E-Series shows you. You have 2 different screens on the meter. When you first open the lid of the meter, you're going to see your reading. The second screen of the meter will show how much water is going through the meter per minute. So if you're kind of aware of what an appliance uses, a dishwasher, a toilet, per minute, you can kind of pinpoint where you might have a leak at. If you see ranges from 2 to 3 gallons a minute constantly, or once every 5 minute, ordeal, then it could be related to your toilet hanging up and running. The meters have no movable parts inside. There's nothing to wear out over time. Come with a 20-year battery life on them. They give us hour-by-hour data of how much water the customer uses. Allows us to be able to help them pinpoint where a leak might be.
Wow.
Been able to do a little bit with that. I believe the major thing we have had people tell us is it does allow for more flow of water without the movable parts inside restricting the flow. We have had customers, make comments about them noticing more flow in irrigation systems or their appliances inside. So it's a benefit to the customer there. A lot of people complain of low pressure and flow, and that did help some people's problems there.
Sure. When did this project initiate? When did we start doing that?
The first E-Series meter was installed December 2012. We kicked off the actual change-out project in July of 2013. We started installing, and we're expected to be completed by December of 2016 with it. There was 15,000 meters that needed to be changed out of our almost 21,000 accounts. Currently, we're at about 10,400 of them in the ground.
So when you go to change out one of these water meters, about how long does it take you?
Depending on what we find when we get there, we have two different styles of meter boxes. Whichever style we get to, the newer construction has the newer style meter box. They're a little bit quicker. On average, we can change those out in less than 5 minutes. The older style meter boxes takes a little longer. Our averages come out to about 16, 17 minutes a meter, where we expect our guys to change 10 a day per person.
Okay.
So they're changing out that minimum. Sometimes they do more. But yeah, on average, we say, when we go to the customer, we tell them 20 to 30 minutes just to allow enough time to get it changed out.
Well, that's very efficient.
Yes, ma'am.
So the data that you were talking about, can you tell us some of the benefits? I know you kind of touched on that, of collecting the data through the new devices, but does that come in straight to our offices, and how is that used internally to help?
Currently, it does not come straight in. We do have the feature to be able to read the meters with it. All the E-Series meters we can read to pull that data all at one time, but it would slow our reading process down. So if we have a customer call in with a question about their bill, and they have a new meter, we can go out there and we pull that information from the meter in the field. I bring it back into the office and upload it to my computer.
Okay.
And with our reading software and using Excel spreadsheets, I can go and convert it over to gallons per minute, gallons instead of cubic feet. Just kind of makes it a little easier for a customer to understand. It gives us, I believe it's 2,106 lines of data. It's 90 days worth of data, so
wow.
Hour by hour for 90 days, we can see what water was used. I normally take that data and sum it up for an entire day, break it down day by day, so that they can see what they use per day. We can highlight their times their irrigation systems cut on. I normally highlight all those in green on the charts for them. That way they are aware of it being irrigation. We can even tell down to how many times a day you flush your toilet most of the time.
Oh my goodness.
And it helps out a lot for people that aren't aware of how much water they're really putting in their yard and their irrigation system.
Sure. It sounds like it's something that the customers would be very happy with, to have this information, being as efficient as it is, to be able to narrow down information that specifically.
Yep.
So that's a wonderful thing for our citizens. Yep. So Russell, is there anything that folks need to know about when y'all come out to change out the meters? Is there anything that our customers need to know?
We're going to have, our guys will be out in the neighborhoods. You'll see a city truck. They'll should have their vest on, pretty visible. They'll come to your door. Normally we go ahead and get everything ready for the change out. It just takes away time from the water being off. We go ahead and get the new meter ready, get the box cleaned out, and then we'll go to the door, knock on the door, see if the customer's home, to let them know that their water's going to be off for 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll go change a meter as long as that customer's fine with it at the time. If they're in the middle of their dishwasher running or something like that, then we can move on to the next one and come back. But we do try to work with the customer the best we can. So when we get there, normally most of the meters are easily accessible. We do have some of them that are covered up. People have planted bushes or anything around them, put their debris down by them. We do have ordinances saying not to keep their yard debris and plants beside the meter. But if we do get one that is covered up, we have to have access to that meter. Mm-hmm. So they can expect that we will make access to there if we do have to cut a path through the bushes or whatever's necessary. You'll see them go in your yard to a faucet. We have to have a faucet outside to be able to flush the lines out after the meter is changed out. So once they go to change the meter, they'll cut the water off, take the old meter out, put the new one in, go cut the faucet on the house, and then open the valve slowly to cut the water back on to the house. That way it allows all the air and dirt to, exit out of the line instead of going inside the house to clog up anything inside. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It's a fairly simple procedure of changing the meter out.
Well, it sounds very efficient.
Yes,
It sounds like this has been something that has been very well thought through, and I hope it continues to go very well and smoothly. So we're wrapping up that project 2016. That's our target date. So
Yes,
that's great. So Al, you are the 27-year veteran with our finance department.
Nice way to say old, I guess.
But I guess even with the change out and the new equipment coming in, you've really seen all kinds of evolution over your time.
Yes, I mean, when I started, finance department had 8 members, and now we're, because we've taken on some new duties under Kim's leadership, we're up to about 20 employees,
wow.
Full and part-time. So it's been really neat to see.
Well, and during your time, I know that you've worn several hats over your tenure, working with business licenses and risk management during your time. But as the revenue administrator, I guess your main focus is with our taxes.
Yes, ma'am. My main duties are serving as the city's treasurer and tax collector for a collection of all of our real estate, business, personal property, and our personal taxes on boats, motors, and things of that nature.
Okay.
So, and we, it's a very easy process for us. We work hand in hand with Aiken County, and we're kind of at the bottom of the line. Everything with taxes starts with the county, and then they share all the information with us.
So I'm sure there's got to be a lot of communication there. And I think our discussion today is very timely. So can you talk to us about when the 2015 tax books are going to be open, and when they're due to be paid, and all the information we need to know about that?
We officially opened the books on November 2nd, so this past Monday. Bills were printed and mailed on October 30th. So hopefully everyone out there has received their tax bill. It's a very clean process for us. Once we get our tax files, we can usually move through them fairly quickly. So our citizens out there, when they get their county bill, they can kind of know their city bill is going to come out in about 2 weeks.
Sure, sure. Al, what happens if somebody doesn't pay their taxes?
Well, we do have a due date this year of January 15th, which coincides with Aiken County. If taxes aren't paid by January 15th, then it is going to be subject to a penalty. So we'll have a 5% penalty added on January 16th. And then as we go through the months, the unpaid tax will continue to accumulate penalties. But then when we get to around May 1st, May 15th, that time frame, they're deemed delinquent. And at that point, I throw on my other hat, and I'm the delinquent tax collector.
Okay.
And we start preparing real estate property for tax sale. And there's a bunch of extra fees and things that are added onto the tax bill. So we really encourage everyone to try to pay those tax bills by that around May 1st if they can. We understand sometimes people they just can't make that payment, but ultimately what's going to happen is if the property remains unpaid, we will sell it at the county tax sale. We sell in conjunction with Aiken County. But just because it's sold doesn't mean the property's gone. Our citizens have a 1-year redemption period. So that's just how it is spelled out in state law for cities and counties to collect their real estate taxes.
Okay. And talking about that, the tax sale. If property does go to the tax sale, there's a 1-year
redemption
period. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. When the property is sold, it's sold to the highest bidder, and the starting bid is the amount of taxes due. We sell it for the delinquent tax plus the current year tax at the time. So we're having a tax sale next week, Monday, November 9th. And what we'll do there is we'll collect our 2014 delinquent tax plus the 2015 taxes that have recently been added. The starting bid will be that amount of tax due. It will sell to the highest bidder. That bidder will pay their bid, and will then add interest, 3% per quarter, onto the tax bill. So the citizen whose property doesn't pay the bid. We hold those bids.
Sure.
The citizen will pay the interest on the bid amount, and it's 3% per quarter, up to 12% in the year, not to exceed the amount of taxes due. So it didn't used to be that way. It used to be a flat 12% added the first day of the sale, and that was it. And state law, the legislators looked at that and said that's not necessarily fair. So they did the 3% per quarter, not to exceed taxes due. So that kept it, so it's a little more reasonable.
Sure, sure. Okay, somebody has a problem with their tax value on their property. Who do they need to talk to about that?
Well, we get a lot of phone calls like that, and when they call in, you know, we try to find out what the problem is. But as I mentioned earlier, a lot of things start with Aiken County and then come to us. So if it's a question about property values and things like that, I almost sound like a broken record sometimes. I have to refer them to Aiken County. And the county set up, they have the assessor's office and the auditor's office, and we will, you know, depending on what type tax it is, refer them to the proper department.
Sure, sure. Okay, so what if somebody sells their property during the year?
Probably the $1 million
Yes,
question.
absolutely.
That's got to be the biggest question I get every year is, you've sent me this tax bill and I don't own it, or I've bought property, I haven't gotten a tax bill. Under state law, taxes are billed to the owner of record as of December 31st. So the 2015 bills are mailed to the owner of record as of 12/31/14. So obviously, if you sell your house in March, you know, you're going to get that tax bill. And, and all we ask people to do is, if they get their tax bill and they've sold it, forward it to their new owner. We will eventually get addresses from Aiken County for new owners, but sometimes we don't get that till January, mid-January or so. And it's a lot easier for those property owners if they can go ahead and get their bills, get them to their mortgage companies if need be, or have time to pay it.
Sure.
So we just ask them to forward it.
Right.
If you've bought property, then just call our office or go on our website, and you can access your property and see what your tax bill is.
And y'all have such a wealth of information on the website. Kim, you were talking about that, what we have, and that people really can track down a lot of information through the website, which is so handy.
Yeah.
If somebody pays their taxes directly to their bank or their mortgage company, can they still get a receipt for that?
The way our bills are, they actually have a dual purpose. They're the tax bill, but then you return that bill to us. We validate it, showing your payment, and return it to you. So that is your official receipt. But if you pay through your mortgage company, through your escrow account, then usually your mortgage company will send you a verification of taxes paid for your tax purposes. If you pay online and do not return the bill to us, then you can certainly go on the website, cityofaikenSC.gov, access your account, and there's a payment history, and you can actually see the date your payment was processed and everything. It's very, very nice website.
Sure.
It works really well. I just encourage folks to get on it and play around on it first. You know, a lot of people say, I can't figure it out, and as you walk through it, oh, that's easy. You know, that's always the comment I get when I'm helping people on the phone.
Sure, yeah, you have to, I guess, get to a point and then start doing some click-throughs to make sure that you get to the right information, and so easy. But again, you know, it speaks to the efficiency for the finance department, which is absolutely great.
And we are in the process of upgrading the website, so it will change a little bit. And as part of that upgrade, we hope to, by the end of the year or first of 2016, be able to accept credit card payments online. I know people really want to do that.
Right.
We have been looking for the most efficient and secure way to do that, because we want to make sure when people are sending that information that it is taken care of and very secure. So the tax information is out there, the water bill information is out there. You can sign on, see your account, see your consumption, how much water you used, and your history is also out there for that as well. So look for that to be coming soon.
That's exciting. I mean, just to have all that information at your fingertips and knowing that we have a new website coming online and some possibilities for the future.
And Kim is exactly right. That is probably the second most requested thing is, can I pay with credit card? Can I give you my debit card right now? And no, we don't take that over the phone.
Right.
But it's coming, and that's going to be a huge bonus to our to our citizens.
Yes, absolutely. It just kind of speaks to the day and age and just the evolution that's happened. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about another very important role for the finance department, and that's business licenses. And I know that you you understand that process.
Yes.
So can you kind of tell us about that a little bit and what requirements are there to obtain a business license?
Yeah, when I started my career with the city, I handled all the business licensing, so it is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Nathan Campbell is our actual business license administrator, but he could not be with us today. But he does a great job of working with all of our citizens and business owners who want to purchase or renew their business licenses. It's kind of let's talk about first a new business. Someone comes to town and they want to open a business. Once they've picked their location, then they'll come in and see us, and we'll give them all the applications they need, or on City of Aiken sc.gov, we have a business license section, and they can download all the forms they need. Once they download the applications, they'll fill them out. We do have, if it's in the city limits, they do have to take it to the planning department, and planning will verify that the zoning is correct for the type of business that the person's wanting to do, or like some people operate businesses out of their homes, and there's a lot of restrictions to operate a home-based business.
Sure.
You can't have a retail store in the middle of a neighborhood,
right?
Things of that nature. So once all your applications are filled out and checked off and signed off, then you bring it back to the finance department at 135 Lawrence Street and pay your business license fee. And fees range from $30 to $60.
Okay.
We try to keep the startup very inexpensive for our businesses. We do not do any kind of estimating of gross receipts, and then you pay a fee based on that. We do a flat fee. Until you actually have a gross revenue to report, you pay the base rate. We've done it that way for years. We just think it's a little more fair. If you're an outside city business, but you're going to be performing work in the city limits, you have to have a license as well. You don't have to have any kind of planning approval or anything of that nature. You basically fill out your application and pay your business license fee to be licensed.
And are those annual?
They are annual. The license year always ends June 30th. It corresponds with the city's fiscal year, July 1 to June 30. We also offer one-time project licenses. So if a contractor's coming to town and all they're doing is building the new Starbucks, they can buy a business license just for that job. And, they report their gross, pay their fee, and they're done.
Sure.
When that job's done, their license expires.
Well, again, trying to accommodate and make it very efficient.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Well, it's very evident that the finance department works with so many different facets. Yeah, I've learned a lot today, not knowing exactly. I always had an idea about what you guys did, but y'all really do do a lot and have a lot to be proud of and commended for. So as we're wrapping up today, is there anything else that y'all would like to say, or anything in close?
I want to thank you for having us.
Well,
yes, thank you very much.
This has been a pleasure, and we thank you for being here. So thank you so much for joining us today on Aiken This Week, and we'll see you next time.